And right below us was Tommy Masada's restaurant, Michael's restaurant, who's been playing host here all weekend. Well, as you can see, we're in the milling area. We have an overcast day, and they're calling for about a 2-foot sea, which certainly isn't going to present a problem for these boats. The A and B classes will be running a total of 55 miles today, while the C, D, P, and S classes will be running a total of 65 miles. That's American Express. ATEC Special is there. Insanity. Predator right there in the middle of the pack. Harris 777 coming into play. Predator right there. Then Apache Yellow Hull moving up. American Express on the inside. Harris 777 on the inside of him. Predator in the middle. Assigned Risk is coming into the foray right now. American Express, Predator, finish line. We see D77, and we've got the green flag, and the 1990 Freeport Grand Prix is officially underway. Right there in your picture, it's American Express. There's Assigned Risk coming up on the inside. Awesome on the inside of Assigned Risk. Bit of a chop here at the start, but certainly no problem for these boats. Now as we move up to the head of the pack, you've got Finish Line, D77 on the outside of him. Finish Line in the middle, D77 on the outside. Looking back in the pack again, that's American Express. Insanity right there in the center of the picture. Finish Line off to a strong start. And there's D77. And on the inside of the course right now, taking a slight lead overall over the entire pack, it's Predator. And right on the outside, knocking on the door of Predator, it's D77. We're locked in a battle right here. D15. This is the Predator race team. Once again, looking back on the pack, D77 and Finish Line running in third place. D77 in second, Finish Line in third. Now we come up on D15, the Predator race team. There's a 41-foot all-yellow Deep V Apache race hull powered by Stotler inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Edward Toth of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Ed is driving today. Eddie's doing the navigation, and on throttles, Herb Stotler from Davie, Florida. The Predator race team looking very strong right now. These Stotler inboards, producing 800 horsepower apiece, are really doing the job in propelling this 41-foot Deep V Apache race hull through these waters here in the Atlantic. Look at that job right there. Boat coming right out, and Stotler doing a phenomenal job on the throttles. From Freeport, New York, it's D15, the Predator race team. Ed Toth and Herb Stotler have a very strong running boat right now in this Predator race boat. We certainly wish them all the best here today in Freeport, the Predator race team. Some of the many spectators who have come out, as you see in the background here off the shores of Freeport. Here we have boat number 76, the Fountain Race Team. There's a 43-foot deep V fountain race hull powered by two 1,200 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Kike for outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Reggie Fountain of Washington, North Carolina, and on throttles Joe Detour from Coram, New York. The team of Fountain and Detour have done so well throughout the 1990 campaign in this Fountain Race Team. They've had some very strong runs. They've had several checkered flags under their belts already, and a very strong competitor to be dealt with at every race that he enters. Reggie Fountain, with so many years of experience under his belt, he's really come out with a vengeance here in 1990. And the performance that he's put on throughout this year, and we're sure we expect to see it right up to the World Championships, has made Reggie Fountain and Joe Detour a team to be reckoned with here today. From Freeport, New York, it's Reggie Fountain's Fountain Race Team, running very strong right now. For today's race, the APBA has created what they call a Grand Prix class, allowing Reggie Fountain in the Fountain Race Team and Mad Mac to race here today. And at the present time, Reggie Fountain is leading in the Grand Prix class here today. Reggie Fountain and the Fountain Race Team, certainly a true champion. Now we come up on P24, the Insanity Race Team. There's a 30-foot Shadow Cat powered by three 250 horsepower Mercury 2.4 outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Chuck New of Staten Island, New York. Driving today, we've got Jason New from Staten Island, and navigating Tony New, also from Staten Island. The News making up the Insanity Race Team. And they've had some relatively good luck throughout the 1990 campaign so far, and we certainly hope it stays with him up until the World Championships. Insanity will be dueling with Euromarine Special for a large portion of the day today, we're sure. It's going to be a very tough class, but the News certainly have the experience and the technology and knows what it takes to be in the victory circle at the end of the race. So they're going all out right now, and we certainly wish them all the best. Jason, Chuck, and Tony New, the Insanity Race Team from Staten Island, New York. The Insanity Race Boat is rigged and maintained at Pro Marine in New Jersey. And there you see a shot where people do seem to be at off course, slowing down a little bit, making a turn. Those boats you see in your picture are a little lost at the present time, but the navigator doing the proper job will get those boats back on course. As you can see, Insanity has found the right mark and is heading toward it right now. They're also going to be dueling with Metro 1 race team today. So it's going to be Metro 1 with Insanity and Euromarine Special, as well as the Equalizer in the Pro Stock class throughout the course of the day. Definitely going to be a very competitive and evenly matched class today. From Freeport, New York, it's P24, the news of the Insanity race team. And there's Metro 1, another P-boat, who is dueling with Insanity as well as Euromarine Special. The Metro 1 race team having a good run in Pro Stock. Now we come up on D77. You saw this boat take an early lead at the start of the race. At the present time, there's no name for this race team, but the number is D77. It's a 30-foot Chris craft powered by three 240-horsepower Mercury 2.4 outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by William Amadon from Wearist Beach, New Hampshire. Navigating today, we've got Scott Ulatu from New Hampshire also, and on throttles, Jeff DeVito from Belmore, New Hampshire. The D77 race team all coming down from the New Hampshire area, and right now they're running very strong in D class. They'll be dueling with Predator, who you saw, American Express, who got a great jump in the beginning of the race, who was in the beginning, also assigned Risk and Lethal Weapon in Sportsman D. So it's going to be a very competitive and even class here. The APBA, as well as all of the national areas that are running divisional races throughout the Northeast, have so many good boats now. The competition is so evenly matched. Every race guarantees some great competition here in the open waters, and Freeport obviously is no exception. Sportsman D is going to be a battle all day, and D77 really seems to be up on it with William Abaddon at the helm. D77. And in the front of the picture, that's Metro 1. D77 looking very strong right now, and on the far outside, coming up to join the battle in D class, is Assigned Risk, D53. So these boats are in the same class, so this is certainly for a very key position right now at this stage of the race in D class. Assigned Risk in D77 going at it head to head. And far out front, you see in the lead right now, and actually in your picture, it's Metro 1 in the Pro Stock division right now, leading there, followed by Insanity, who's in second place behind Metro 1. And right there on the outside of Metro 1, it's Assigned Risk. Now we join P40, the Metro 1 race team, who is presently and unofficially in first place in the Pro Stock class. Metro 1 is a 30-foot Chris Craft powered by three 2.4 EFI Mercury outboard motors. This boat is driven by Ed Riley and throttled by Doug Carmen. A lot of experience here in this boat today, and they've had a relatively successful 1990 campaign, and they really hope to improve on their points accumulation with this race right here, and they're off to a great start. Doug Carmen and Ed Riley making up the Metro 1 race team, enjoying a fine run here today in Freeport. The Metro 1 race team. There's Metro 1 making him coming up on Insanity. So Insanity was leading that class. Now Metro 1 comes up and is tied now for the lead with the Insanity race team. So Metro 1 and Insanity are locked in a fierce duel. We'll have to wait and see how that one shapes out throughout the rest of the day. Now we come up on D53, the Assigned Risk race team. There's a 32-foot Scorpion powered by two 750 horsepower Zool inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is throttled by Lou Tallarica, driven by Tommy Rizzo, and navigator is Dennis. The Assigned Risk race team. This boat is rigged at Fever Marina. Sportsman D is a tough category and competition today. You've Predator, American Express, Lethal Weapon, D77, as well as Assigned Risk are going to be dominating all day today. The competition is tough. You saw Predator. That was a strong running boat. American Express looked very good at the lead. And D77, who we previewed earlier on, is also running very strong. So Rizzo really knows what it's cut out for him. He's got to get some work done right now and get up there with the leaders. He's unofficially running in fourth place right now, so I'll have to wait and see how this shapes up. The team of Tallarico, Rizzo, doing a great job with Dennis as the navigator also. The Assigned Risk race team. And Tallarico is doing a great job on the throttles, powering those Zool inboard motors. The Assigned Risk race team. As you can hear, Lou Tallarico is doing an excellent job throttling the assigned risk race team. Now we come up on P16, the Euromarine race team. There's a 30-foot Chris Cat powered by three 2.4 Mercury EFI outboard motors. This boat is driven by Charlie Jelnick and throttled by Tommy Caruso. This team and crew represents the Total Yacht Sales out of Mamaroneck, New York. A great team. They've had a relatively successful 1989. A little late getting going here in 90, but now that they're out, they're having some very good runs, and they've had some great battles with the Insanity race team. Charlie Jelnick, Tommy Caruso doing a great job, and of course their crew chief, Jeff DiMartino, helping out with rigging and some of the wiring for the Total Yacht Sales race team. It's certainly a pleasure having DiMartino back on the APBA circuit. After a near-fatal accident last year, he's back and doing very well, joining the Euromarine race team. It's a pleasure to have him back with Jelnick and Caruso. But right now the story is Jelnick and Caruso, and they're having a very good run in the Euromarine special race boat. Pro Stock, also a very tough class. You already saw Carmen and Riley in Metro 1 and the entire new family in Insanity. And now we're on the other boat who is certainly a key player in the Pro Stock division, Charlie Jelnick's Euromarine race team. As this race begins to come past the halfway point, we wish Charlie Jelnick, Tommy Caruso of the Euromarine race team all the best here today in Freeport, New York. Now we come up on a picture of domination. B6, the Fever race team. This is a 28-foot all-yellow Manta powered by two 550-horsepower Zool inboard racing motors with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by Joe Latona of North Merrick, New York. Driving today, we've got Joe Scrow from Brooklyn, and your navigator is James McElhatton, also from Brooklyn. What more can we say? The Fever race team, they have dominated the past 2 years on the APBA circuit. They're a strong boat with a very strong team, and they've been together for many years now. This is a true picture of dominance and consistency in offshore racing. Fever race team. And just yesterday, our head cameraman and executive producer, Jeff Girardi, from the Freeze Frame race team fame, went for a ride in the Fever race team, sitting where James McElhatton is sitting right now. And he firsthand got to experience the awesome power and speed that the Fever race team displays on the race course. While he was in the boat, they were running in speeds of 95 miles per hour, and that is extremely fast. That is why the Fever race team, headed by Latona and Scrow, dominate B-class on the APBA circuit. From Freeport, New York, it's the Fever Race Team. There you see some good jumps right there by Fever. They're on the rough part of the race course, probably the roughest leg that we have here today off Freeport, and they're doing very well. So much experience and confidence displayed with the crew of the Fever Race Team, and they have all the victories to back up everything that they've done. True champions in the Northeast Division on the APBA circuit, the Fever Race Team. Fever having a very fine run here today at Freeport. And from Fever, now we come up to a very strong running B-boat also. It's B88, the Rare Breed Race Team. This is a 32-foot Tempest DV racing hull powered by two Chevrolet inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by William J. Gifford from Abbotston, New Jersey. Throttling today, we've got Bill Gifford Jr., and navigating is Fred Field from Ventnor, New Jersey, the Rare Breed Race Team. And they're locked in a very fierce battle right now with Fever. We're very happy about bringing you the Rare Breed Race Team. They've had a very good 1990 campaign, so much in fact that they are leading in points in the Northeast Division of the APBA national level. So they're very excited about that. They've had a great 90 campaign so far, and they'd certainly like to add to it with a strong performance here today in Freeport. And right now they're doing just that. They're locked in a very fierce battle with Fever, but they are holding off Jaws Lady L, who is in second place in the national points battle, which they could certainly use some points here today, and B52 is in that pack. But Rare Breed enjoying a very fine run. The crew of Gifford and Field doing a great job. From Freeport, New York, it's the Rare Breed Race Team. Bill Gifford Jr. doing a great job on the throttles for Rare Breed. Now we come up on C9, the Hydra Bandit race team. There's a 36-foot Hydra Tech racing boat powered by two 550 horsepower Bandit inboard racing motors with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned, throttled, and driven by Vince Guarino of Staten Island, New York, and Gregory Young from Bricktown, New Jersey is your navigator. The Hydra Bandit race team. What a year they've had. Throughout 1990, they're presently in first place in the Northeast Division on the national points level of the APBA, so they've had a very successful 1990, and today in Freeport is no different. They're presently in first place in class, and they're doing very well. They have a very comfortable lead over Phantom, Bounty Hunter, Finish Line, and Harris 777 rounding out the Sportsman C class here today. But this is a picture of a champion. He's running very well, really doing the job for 90, and he's true to form here today in Freeport. Vince Guarino's Hydra Bandit race team. Now we come up on S8, Bad Boys Racing. Excuse me, that's S9, the Bad Boys Racing team. There's a 24-foot Skater Cat powered by two 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat today is running in the Pro Stock division, and it's doing quite well. This boat is owned by Angelo Morrow Jr., who is doing the throttling today. Driving is Michael Green, who is also doing the navigating. So the team of Morrow and Green making up the Bad Boys race team. And they're hanging quite well in the Pro Stock. They're running with Metro 1, Insanity, Euromarine Special, and the Equalizer, and they're doing quite well. Considering that they're normally an S boat running in the P division, they're doing very well. Angelo Morrow's Bad Boys racing team. This boat is rigged and maintained at Pro Marine. Angelo coming from Colts Neck, New York, and Mike Green coming from Bloomfield, New Jersey. As you can see, we have a nice sunny day now. The skies have cleared up. The bad weather front that they were calling for seems to be blowing towards the east of us right now, so that's good for this race right now, and things have really started to open up, and the speeds are picking up quite nicely. From Freeport, New York, it's Angelo Morrow's Bad Boys Racing Team. Now we come up on C35, the Phantom Race Team. This is a 24-foot skater cat powered by 2 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Fred Kirkland of Villanova, Pennsylvania, and Tony Caligari from Merrick, New York, and Ocean Outboard fame is throttling today. The Phantom Race Team in Sportsman C. They're presently running in second place behind Hydra Bandit, who we saw earlier on, but they are holding off Bounty Hunter, Finish Line, and Harris 777 in C class. And in the front of the picture right there, ahead of Phantom, we've got the Predator Race Team. Different classes, so not a problem, but nonetheless makes for some good points of reference for the racers out here in the seas. Kirkland and Caligari enjoying a very fine run. This 24-foot skater is built for these type of racing conditions. We've got a slight chop, 2 feet if that, and this boat is doing a fine job propelling itself around this race course here today off Freeport, New York. It's Fred Kirkland's Phantom Race Team. And Fred Kirkland's having a very good run in Phantom as he's in the process of trying to track down Hydra Bandit Race Team. And on the far outside of Kirkland's Phantom Race Team, that's American Express. Different class boats, but nonetheless makes for some good imagery. Kirkland and Caligari doing a great job in Phantom. American Express going by on the outside, but a bigger boat. Keeping a nice rhythm going as they go over these waves. Great job by Caligari on the throttles. And right there we see the battle for D class. That's Predator in first place and American Express right here in your picture. So we've got a battle to the finish between these two boats. D19, the American Express Race Team. There's a 30-foot Chris Pratt powered by 2 Chevrolet inboard racing motors with Merc Cruiser outrides. This boat is owned and throttled by Jimmy Cizzani of Jamestown, Rhode Island, and Lanny Dellinger, also from Jamestown, is your driver and navigator. The American Express Race Team. And what a battle they're locked in right now with Predator Race Team. You saw just several hundred yards separating these two boats between first and second place for the checkered flag in Sportsman D, and it's going right down to the wire. But the story for 1990 American Express has had an excellent campaign. On the Northeast Division of the APBA National Points, they're presently first in points. So they've had a very good 1990 campaign, and if things stay true to form, they'll have a good finish here today and maintain their points lead in the D Division on the national circuit of the Northeast Division. So locked in the battle with Predator. We're going to have to wait and see how this one unfolds. It's Jimmy Cizzani and Lanny Dellinger in the American Express Race Team. Now we come up on B85, the boat known as Jaws. This is a 29-foot Phantom deep V racing hull powered by two 480 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by David Horstman from Hackettstown, New Jersey, and driving and navigating is Paul Smaczynski for the Jaws race team. Jaws, they're presently locked in a good battle in B class. You saw Fever and Rare Breed running 1 and 2 in B, but Jaws is maintaining a lead over Lady L and B52 for the third place position in Sportsman B. There's a new team this year, the Jaws race team, and they're enjoying some relative success on the campaign, getting a lot of experience under their belt for 90, and they certainly look forward to big things through the World Championships and into 1991. David Horstman's Jaws race team from Freeport, New York. Now we come up to A96, the Runaway race team. There's a 28-foot Runaway deep V racing boat powered by two Mercury inboard motors with Merc drives. This boat is owned and throttled by Marty Baldwin of Fork River, New Jersey. Chuck Burke is your driver from Brick, New Jersey, and Dave Fox from Cedar Run, New Jersey is your throttle man. The Runaway race team, and they're basically running away with A division here today in Freeport. They've been leading the entire race, and they are holding off MRD. Deuces Are Wild in the Sportsman A division. They had a strong run all day. This is their first year in the 1990 campaign. They're a brand new manufacturer. This is their third race in 1990, and just recently they took a 5th place in Massachusetts to their credit already. This is a new manufacturer of boats, and they manufacture race boats as well as pleasure boats. This boat is sponsored by Shore Marine, Mercury Marine, Spectral Oil, and Fiberglass Services. Runaway, with the success that they're having here today, and with possibly a few more victories throughout 1990 into the World Championships, could really leave a good taste for them and bring them back for the 1991 campaign, and we'd certainly love to see them out here in the Northeast Division of the APBA. Marty Baldwin's Runaway race team, who's having a great day here today in Freeport, running away with the A division. Marty's doing a great job on the throttles, as you can hear right now. From Freeport, New York, it's Marty Baldwin's Runaway race team. And in the background, that's Insanity. Everyone's going all out right now, making a beeline for the finish line, because we are in the closing stages of the Freeport Grand Prix. Insanity's chasing down the news in Metro 1. And Runaway is having a strong run as they're bidding to hold off MRD and Deuces Are Wild. Having a very good run here today at Freeport, the Runaway race team. Jason, Chuck, and Tony New having a great run here today as Insanity. If things remain this way, they will be finishing up in second place in class. The Insanity race team finishing behind Carmen in Metro 1 race team. Doug Carmen and Ed Riley of Metro 1 had a very fine run, and so did Insanity. Jason, Chuck New, Tony New really having a strong run, and they're going all out right now as this is the final stages of today's race, and they're going all out. This will certainly help them with their point standings and really keep them in good shape in the points. The Insanity race team having a great run here today in Freeport. Now we come up on A12, the MRD race team. This is a 30-foot deep V superboat racing hull powered by two 400 horsepower MRD inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by RC Robert Cardinal of West Islip, New York, and Frank Schweisler from Baldwin, New York is your throttleman and navigator. RC's MRD race team, and he's presently running in second place in Sportsman A behind Runaway, who we just saw early on. RC has had a very good 1990 campaign, and already he is leading in points in Sportsman A on the Northeast Division on the national level of the APBA's point standings. RC's MRD race team having a good run here today in Freeport, New York. And we're going to stay with RC's MRD race team as he heads towards the start-finish line and the final checkpoint boat. And after that, in just moments, we'll be tabulating your final results of the 1990 Freeport Grand Prix.